Welcome to Buffalo After Dark, everybody. It's your Wednesday night uncensored, unfiltered, and unafraid sports show. You still up? This episode of Buffalo After Dark starts now. Welcome aboard to Buffalo After Dark, everybody. It is Wednesday night, April 5th, and of course, it's us, the usual. Bob's here, joining us again. We're going to talk, of course, Sabres first. How's your week been?
Been good. And you know what? My whole weekend as a whole with work and outside of my personal life, it's been very busy this year. My wife is turning 28 in a couple of weeks, and my work, at my job, it's starting to get busy with baseball and all that. And yeah, my life's been busy as of late. So how was yours?
Not bad. So just a little bit quiet week this week, which is good. So never complain about those. But other than that, one thing I did figure out, though, nice cheap way to fix catalytic converter, just buy a couple bottles of Cataclean, blow out all the black smoke, and then basically from there, instead of $2,000 on a fix, spend $60. So
there you go. That's quite of a hack.
Yes, it is.
You know what, Tom? You know what just hit me?
What's that?
I honestly, maybe you can help me in this situation. Maybe I'm just dumb or if I'm just naive. I can't think of a country in the continent of Africa that starts with the letter K. Do you know any?
Let's see. I'm just trying to think of any. Yeah, Kenya.
Yeah, can you suck on these nuts?
Stupid fuck. Anyways. You had to go there already, didn't you?
I had that whole joke played out in my head. I was like, I gotta tell that to Tom. And then, boom, you fell right into it. I love it. Oh, damn.
Oh, God. Hey, of course, my answer to that is no. So, sorry, man. I don't play that way. But, anyways.
The reaction as a whole was just priceless. It was like, fuck you.
Right. Anyways, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about over the next hour. So, of course, if you want, we're on Facebook Live, and you can give us a call at 929-205-6099. And then I know, Trevor, there's a lot of stuff going on with your Colts. So if you want to call in, feel free. We'd be happy to talk to you as well, because I know your QB search is going on. But anyways, we'll start off with the Sabres. And basically with what we saw the last couple nights, Devon Levi actually got his first two starts, 1-1, 2 goals against average right now, or 2.0, so he's actually playing a lot better than what people thought. Apparently, I ended up reading something earlier today. A lot of people were thinking, I guess, based on stats, that he should have been at 3.61 goals against, but no, he's at 2.0, which is very similar to the 1.92 he had back in his college days. So he's playing well. And I will say this, if anyone did not check out any of the highlights from him, all you need to do, look up how he ended up stonewalling Capo Caco, and look at that save against Kachuk, and then there you go.
And then Anthony DeClaire as well.
Yeah, another good one. I mean, straight up, I think right now the Sabres found their man, and sucks to be you, Florida, because I think he's going to be our goaltender for the next 10 years.
You know what's funny? I actually watched that game yesterday, and I get coverage for all 32 teams, but the game I got the coverage for was from not the Sabres broadcasting, but the Florida Panthers broadcasting.
God.
Yeah, you want to hear
pull that off?
Simple, NHL Center Ice. I put it on my TV, and then boof. But here, listen to this. So I was listening to the game from the Florida Panthers perspective, right?
Right.
And I learned 2 things. One, the reason why Devon Levi was drafted by Florida was because it was an inspirational pick from Roberto Luongo, because he was the one that said, Florida, go get Devon Levi. So exactly what they did.
And they went back on Luongo.
Yeah. And 2, they also kept talking all kinds of shit about how, Levi, he's coming off at the college level. He's not ready for the pros. He's too small for an average height for a goalie. This and that, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, well, if you want to take a page from the history of the Florida Panthers or even in the Philadelphia Flyers case, look at Carter Hart and Spencer Knight. Both of those guys jumped right from their college program or their developmental programs, and they didn't even go to the AHL. And some of them, like in their first year, they really they spontaneously played great, and then they kind of went downhill from there. But they still have time to develop.
Yeah.
But what really fascinates me is how Florida was very keen on Spencer Knight over Devon Levi. And I'm just saying to myself, Florida could have had potentially 2 number 1 goalies, kind of like the Mike Richter, John Van Beesbrook tandem back in the 80s or late 90s or whatever it was, before 1994. And it was Beezer and Richter. But no, they ended up trading Levi into Buffalo, and he's so far their best goalie prospect. But I will say this. For next season, the Sabres need to go out and get themselves a veteran backup goalie, because UPL, I think, is going to get traded for maybe a mid-round pick. Comrie's probably going to get put on waivers, and then Anderson, of course, is going to retire.
Right. Well, I definitely want to see Comrie out of here yesterday. That's a known fact. I mean, Comrie, between all 4 goaltenders right now, Comrie just sucks ass. He's not even close to anyone's league on that one. Then you look at UPL. I had high hopes for him. We know we've covered it on here. And he just tanked right after the rookie camps when I first saw him several years ago. And I think injuries got the best of him. But the bottom line with UPL is his rebound control is not where it needs to be. And he seems to be scared to play the puck in some cases, which I've never understood that. And he has the makings of being a good goaltender. And he's just, I think part of it, the hip injuries got him. But he is not where he should have been at this point, especially since he had some very good early flashes. Now, looking at Levi, I mean, here you are, 1.92 goals against in college, and so far a 2.0 goals against in the 2 games that he's been in. And the thing that I will tell you is that his puck control, way better than UPL, and extremely better compared to Comrie. But the other thing that I like about Levi is that he's not afraid in the crease. Because if you look at saves that he's had against Comrie, Duclair, you look. Why did I say Comrie for a moment? No, I mean,
really. Why would you say
why would why would I say that? Good Lord, no. But I mean, Kachuk against Duclair, against Capo Caco, when he ended up going with that quick glove save and just totally stonewalled him in that night. I mean, there's a lot of great things that he's brought to the table so far. And honestly, he has a confidence on him that none of the other goaltenders have right now, except for maybe Craig Anderson. But
Craig Anderson is also 40 years old, so obviously he's going to have that major impact of being a veteran guy.
Yeah,
and
he's been there, he's done that. I mean, we know what he's capable of. But at the same time, I mean, I would not be against shipping out UPL and putting him in a trade and trying to go after, potentially either a veteran goaltender or someone else that we can use defensively. But, that's going to be one of those decisions that's going to have to be made, because I don't see it being a tandem of UPL and Devon Levi. I just don't see it happening.
Me neither. I mean, I look at it from the perspective of if the Sabres want to not repeat what they did with the Flyers did with Carter Hart, where they just threw him into the Wolves and he just rotted, and then Spencer Knight with Florida, because that guy's on a substance abuse program in the NHL or whatever it was. I mean, I wish him a speedy recovery. Sure. But outside of that, though, the Florida Panthers have been playing Russian roulette with goaltenders in the last 4 years. So they don't even have a consistent starter ever since Luongo retired. But, you had Bobrovsky's awful contract. You had Alex Lyon, who's been phenomenal lately. And then you have Spencer Knight, who's also in the Florida Panther system. And I don't even know who the 4th one is. Because Buffalo has a tendency of carrying 4 goalies. Florida, I think, only carries 3, if I remember correctly. But it's just a very interesting combo. But there was a comment I want to read to y'all about what I read about Devon Levi. And that guy is trending in the right direction. And he said this the day before the Florida game. He said, I just had it. Sorry, guys. Give me a minute. So while you're doing that, Devon Levi has been absolutely phenomenal since coming over from the Northeastern Huskies, and he has just been like lights out. But I found the quote, and he said, "quote I didn't just come to debut. I want to be able to give this team a chance to win, and I've been waiting for this moment. I'm dialed in, and I'm just really excited if I get the call to be able to go and play. I didn't come just to debut and just play one game. I want to play more, and I want to be able to give the team a chance to win, and I moved past that game. It was probably one of the best days of my life. I just enjoyed it, soaked it all in, but when it's over, it's over. You turn the page as it's fast league, and it's on to the next. And I've always wanted to be the guy that people relied upon. So put me into the situation, and I'll figure it out. And it's the best part of hockey, and that's why I'm a goalie, because the pressure is on the goalie, and I think that's why I revolved into that position."
Gotcha. And we have a Luffy sighting.
Oh my God, it's Luffy! Sasquatch is here!
Hey,
What's up, guy?
sorry, a little bit late. Just got off work, had to scrub my balls, all that good stuff.
Thanks for sharing.
There you go.
Thanks for sharing.
There you go. As I say, tell us what kind of weed you got tonight.
You know what? I haven't even took a hit at anything yet, but I got this new vaporizer. It's called Rough Puff, and holy fuck, it is rough. It is rough.
There you go. Tonight's show is sponsored by Rough Puff.
Yeah.
No,
Just to catch up on it, we're actually just talking about Devon Levi.
Oh, you're talking about Devon Levi. What? Okay, what's the topic aspect of this? What's part?
Well, we're only just talking about the comments I just read, saying that how much confidence he has. This is only the first topic of the night, so you didn't really miss much.
Okay, so anyways, my personal opinion of Devon Levi. Watched obviously a few good, spectacular saves that he made.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty athletic. As I said in the chat, I think it was last night or the night before, about his ability to move from post to post, his center of gravity when it comes to like how he can get low and he can move, and he's really agile. You know what? That could be because he's only like 21 years old.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you know how to move post to post that way, and the way he moves side to side, the only thing I'm concerned about with him, which is not really a big concern because it's going to come over time, is losing pucks in traffic.
Yeah.
And you know what? And that's not a flaw. That's not anything. That's any goalie. You ask any goalie in the league that's been in the league for 20 plus years, they're going to tell you that's probably the last thing they're going to learn. That's going to be. It's going to come to it. It's not going to come overnight. Like
Right.
That's.
You got to play games to get that experience.
His rebound control is particularly good. What I was really impressed with too is his movement with the puck behind the net. He's pretty affluent with how to handle the puck and not to handle it too much. That's what I liked. A lot of goalies walk with the puck too much, and he knows what to do with it. He knows if he gets in trouble, he knows what to do. So that's another good thing.
Absolutely.
Is the one thing, my one thing that surprising for me that I didn't think is hard to come by. He has a really strong blocker side.
Oh yeah.
And that's hard. That's hard. A lot of goalies don't have it, and a lot of goalies will have a good blocker side, but not high blocker or like anywhere in between. But he's surprisingly really strong on his blocker side, and that's a really good trait to have as a young goalie.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. I think that's a very strong attribution to have. But with you mentioning the whole vision thing, I think that's easily fixable. Because, again, the guy is only a baby, so he has plenty of time to grow.
he has to adapt because, again, he's not a big goalie. He's only 6 foot fucking tall. He's not a massive goalie. He's a regular build goalie. The most you'll ever see him being is 200 pounds at most, and so he'll always be athletic at least. But he's never going to be Vasilevsky size, obviously.
Right.
But he's going to have to work a little bit harder to cover them top corners. But the advantage of having a good blocker size, you can take away that. The glove is natural. I don't care what anybody says. A goalie in net, like a glove, is a lot easier to deal with than a blocker. because you can catch the fucking thing. But I feel like that strong blocker side is a big thing for him. So he looks good. I'm not a Buffalo fan by any standards, but I think Florida really fucked up in losing that one. So
yeah, good job, Florida. Instead, you got Sam Reinhart, who's underproducing.
Yeah, I just told Tom like a few minutes ago before he got here, Adam. I just told Tom that I got the broadcast for the game yesterday from the Florida Panthers perspective because I have center ice. And they were talking all kinds of shit about Levi. They were saying that he wasn't good enough. He was too small. He was this. He was that. He was a 7th-round pick. And the only reason he got drafted by Florida because Roberto Luongo really liked him. So Florida did him favors, and et cetera, et cetera. And so they were just talking all kinds of shit about him.
It's just funny how like they can say like, oh, if Roberto Luongo likes you, that's a number one sign to me. But like, you must have something. He's not going to look at you like you're a bum goalie if he doesn't think you have a future. So I don't know. That's one of the goats of goalies. So I feel like him giving you a fucking attaboy is a good thing. So
and
sure.
One other aspect of Devon Levi I also want to mention is I actually just found this on Twitter from All Hockey Culture, and they mentioned Devon Levi. And they said from his first 2 starts in the NHL, he stopped 65 out of 69 shots, which is really ridiculously good. And he has a .942 save percentage, and he also has a 4.17 GSA. So the future is extremely bright within that position in Buffalo. And they haven't had a goalie like this since Ryan Miller. But I said to Tom as well that if anything, they got to trade UPL. They got to put Comrie on waivers. Anderson's going to retire. So my suggestion is get someone who has experience and could be a good mentor for him a couple of years. And then once he's ready, Levi can then take up the toll by the time he's like 24, 25.
That's why I said I made this. It's not a stupid comment. I made a comment about bringing in James Reimer because I feel like that's a guy that still has some good play in him. He's better than fucking Comrie. That's really out there, no sure.
Yeah, anybody is.
And then he's better than old man Anderson. I feel like he still has some fire in him, and I feel like he'd be a really good guy to bring in and be like, hey, kid, this is how it fucking goes. And I start lower than you started. You know, you might have won in the 7th round, but I went lower, and I had to go through some shit, but I had some good years in the NHL, but I feel like that's a good role model to have.
I think so. I mean, there's definitely going to be plenty available for Levi to lean on as going forward. And speaking of veteran goalies, did you hear about the story that was rumbling about Curtis Joseph?
Oh,
yes,
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was elated when I heard he was the emergency backup goalie. I'm like, please, Samsonov, just say you're sick. Just say,
The return to Cujo.
I was like, for the love of God, just say you have like a fucking sore knee or something, or just let him get back in that. Like that would have been fucking epic to watch Cujo back in the net since the first time since 2008.
Man.
Oh, dude, I would have loved to have Cujo back on there. I mean,
another one of the really good goalies of his time.
Well, dude, that's what I mean. That goes to show like how the Panthers were saying, "Oh, he's too small." Look at Cujo. Cujo was never a big fucking goalie, and look what he did, dude. He won over 500 fucking games in the NHL being a small goalie, and small goalies don't do shit apparently.
Yeah, I think Mike Vernon was like that too when he played for the Red Wings.
Yeah.
Mike Vernon. There's so many goalies. Look at fucking what's another goalie? Small. Artis Urbe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
San Jose Sharks. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, do you remember Artis Urbe being an emergency backup or an e-bug for a couple of games? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember. It was like, how long ago was that? Like fucking 6 years ago?
No, dude, that was like maybe almost 10 years ago.
Really? Oh, okay. I thought it was like later than that. But
yeah, that was like this is like when the Sabres were utter ass.
No, Artis Urbe, I'd love to see him in that again too. He just reminds me of that unorthodox style of fuckery when it comes to net. He just did whatever he thought was okay to do at the time, which is
some crazy stuff.
It's like Dom Hasek. You watch him play in the net, you never knew what he was going to do because he didn't play fucking like any regular goalie. He just played his own style,
right.
Which that made him unique, and that's what made him a Hall of Famer is because he's just that good for being his size and stuff.
Yeah, and nobody could copy him.
And nobody was able to figure him out.
And nobody will be able to either.
There's no fucking goalie I've ever seen that small charge center ice and take some out their pads just because they said, fuck it, I'm going to go for it.
Exactly.
Wasn't Hasek like 6'2" or something like that?
But he might have been like a little bit taller, but he wasn't a big guy. He was a small statured guy, but he was just lanky. He wasn't like, that big.
Well, I mean, I remember him when he played for the Sabres, and obviously when he played for the Red Wings.
Yeah, I mean, Hasek was only 6'1", so... I mean, kind of like similar size to Levi.
Okay, so he's a little bit taller than Devon Levi.
Yeah, and another good example, too, is Chris Osgood. Chris Osgood was a small goalie.
Ozzy!
Played a lot of fucking good years in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had that bumfuck of a year with the Islanders. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Every dog has their day, and every dog doesn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. But you know what, though? I've heard a lot of people talk about Levi in comparison. Yeah, like he looks like Carey Price, but for some reason, he does like the way he plays the puck and the way he makes those acrobatic saves and does his visionary stuff like that and rebound control and all that stuff. None of that to me reminds me of Carey Price. If anything, he reminds me of Henrik Lundqvist.
No, see, to me, the reason I brought up Carey Price was because Carey Price, if you ever watched him play, he plays like it's a first period of a scrimmage game. He never seems panicked. He never seems like he's out of place. He always just makes saves like it was, just routine. And that's the reminder of Carey Price to me, that Devon Levi. Plus, he looks like him a bit. So
maybe they're related because they're from the same area.
I don't know. It's just a calm, cool, collected measure of the way he plays. Mm-hmm. He doesn't seem like he's like he's not trying to do too much. He just does enough to make the save. And when he gets scored on, if you watch Devon Levi when he got scored on, he wasn't like losing his fucking mind that he got scored on. He just fucking shrugged it off and he fucking got up and made fucking more saves. So it's like.
Yeah, and honestly, the goals he had against him were not really soft goals either. So
no, I feel like the goals that he had against him were, anybody would have got scored on. It happens. Shit happens. You're not going to be perfect every fucking game.
You get a bad bounce every now and then, and it happens.
It's what you fucking do after that goal. And if you fucking crash and burn, or you fucking go back to being a goalie, and you fucking stop what you're supposed to. And he did that clearly. So, I think there's nothing but, a bright future for him, and I wish the guy all the best. He's a young kid coming up. He's going to do great.
Yep, absolutely. And while we're talking about the NHL, there's actually a couple other things that ended up coming up, but one of the big things that was mentioned is looks like the NHL is going to be going to Australia, and it looks like the Arizona Coyotes will play the LA Kings.
Oh, who fucking cares? What a stupid matchup.
I mean, it's preseason, so it's not like it's a regular season game. I mean, but why Australia? Why didn't you put it in like another country or something? Like, why didn't you do like
Germany or something?
Like, why didn't you do like Japan or something? Why did you pick fucking Australia? It's almost as if they learned that
down under.
You gotta go down under. Put a shrimp on the barbie.
Good day, mate.
Take the surfboard out on the waves.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand Australia. I don't understand that stupid matchup.
Yeah, me either. Foster's Australian for beer.
way to bring the NHL to Australia. Be like, here's a most unirrelevant team in the fucking NHL versus the LA Kings.
Yeah, and of course, as we saw, the LA Kings already clinched their spot out west. So,
yeah, for sure. I mean, there's plenty of playoffs still have to go. It's like almost all of the teams in the playoff picture this year have pretty much clinched, except for the 4 teams that are still in the hunt. I would think though that the Islanders in Florida have a very good shot to make the playoffs. I'm actually almost 85% sure Pittsburgh's going to miss the playoffs this year.
Well, it'd be the first time in 16 fucking years. The longest fucking stretch. Yeah. Not missing the playoffs. 16 seasons.
Well, it's like that with Washington. It's the first time in 14 years that they missed.
Because I watched it and it was the last time that he did make the playoffs was 2004.
Jesus, that's a hell of a run.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I mean,
so like I think it's 16 seasons or whatever it works out to be. But I know Pittsburgh has the longest stretch of not missing the playoffs, next to I think it was Washington and another team.
Yeah.
Well, Detroit had that long stretch before Blazel ended up coming in, but
I think it was like 25 years in a row the Red Wings made the
yeah,
playoffs
something like that.
at that time. It was ridiculous.
That's
But
back when they were juggernauts. Now they're
Well, they were loaded as a team for all those years too.
Yep, and Avalanche fans to this day are so bitter about 2002. They say that the 2002 Red Wings are the most bought team in the NHL ever. And I'm just sitting there thinking,
maybe, but doesn't matter. You still lost, so
exactly. You still got to show up and play games.
You still got reamed, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. But that being said, it's like, oh, and even better, the Yotes ended up getting steamrolled by the Kraken the other night. I think like 8-1 or something crazy. So,
oh Jesus Christ,
dude! I was watching the Columbus Toronto game last night,
mm-hmm.
and I love how they automatically think they're like, oh, the Columbus is coming into this game, and they have barely enough players to dress a preseason game because of injuries and blah 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 and whatever else. I'm like, dude, that doesn't make a team any less dangerous because they have a bunch of fucking bottom feeders on their fucking team. That makes them, if anything to me, that makes them more dangerous because they're hungry to get a fucking spot.
Oh yeah, they're like,
so they put up a good fucking fight for at least 2 periods, but like if you look at the shots, like it was like 54 to fucking 22, I think total shots for Toronto.
Sure.
But at the same time, the fucking poor goalie, I think his name is Reeves. Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure it's Reeves. He was in that.
I think his name is Jack Reeves. I think that's his name.
Yeah, he was just getting fucking peppered, dude. Like I remember one power play we had in the end of the second where we had 9 shots in the one power play. And it was like Austin Matthews, 6 shots in the one power play.
Oh, Jesus.
That fucking poor goalie, dude. He stood on his fucking head and he didn't give up a fucking goal. So I'll give that kid credit. He stood on his fucking head.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely is. But I just think, though, anybody who's going to really be that shitty through the second half of the season, especially with, 5 games left to go. Some teams have 6. But of all the teams on the bottom, I think it was like Columbus, Anaheim, Chicago are all in a 3-legged race of who's going to suck more for Connor Bedard.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what? It's so sad because I feel like Connor Bedard is going to come in and he's going to be the next phenom, and he's going to be like McDavid. McDavid's fucking the best hockey player in the league by far, and his career is going to be ruined by being in Edmonton. So I just hope that another phenom doesn't come into the league and have their career ruined by a shitty ass fucking franchise.
Well, I think, although I will say though, is that whoever Bedard goes, no matter where he goes, that team is gonna be really good, really damn good, right off the bat. I mean, look at Columbus. All you have is Patrick Laine and Johnny Gaudreau, right? And then you add Connor Bedard on there. Oh my God, that's your top line right there.
Patrick Laine is a fucking bum. He's not even good.
Oh, come on. It's not his fault that he had a rattle of injuries through his time in the NHL. I'm not going to say he's necessarily a bum by any means, but I certainly think that he's not great, but he's serviceable.
He's like fucking Ovechkin if he had 26er vodka and they put him on the ice.
But what would you think it would make if he were to play with someone like Bedard, for instance?
I don't know. Who knows, man? I'm just saying. I think that Connor Bedard's going to be a fucking phenom, but he could come into the league and get fucking beat around and gone in a year. Who knows?
Yeah,
true.
Right?
Anything can happen.
And to be honest with you guys, I used to think when he was drafted, Leon Draisaitl was going to be a bust before McDavid.
Only reason Leon Draisaitl is relatable is because of McDavid.
Well, that's my point, because if Laine plays with Bedard next year, he's going to play with the best talent that you could possibly buy.
Oh yeah.
And And that's what I mean. I mean, Draisaitl did nothing without McDavid, and then all of a sudden now everybody says, "Oh, Draisaitl is the best two-way forward in the NHL." I'm like, the only reason he's even close to where he is now is because he was playing with McDavid. It's kind of like Crosby and Malkin; those two are inseparable. McDavid and Draisaitl are inseparable. It could happen with Johnny Hockey and Connor Bedard, or Connor Bedard with Patrick Laine. We really don't know.
No, I feel like Laine's a one-dimensional player. He has one place he shoots from. He's a fucking. You ever see him grow a goatee? He looks like a fucking billy goat. And
yeah, he definitely can't grow one right.
And it's not the same, because at least Draisaitl gets in on a play and fucking grinds it out. Laine is like a Nylander. He skates into the top of the circle and hopes for the best, and then when the puck goes in the ice, he like leisurely glides back to it. Like, I don't want to get involved only when there's offense. Like, the guy's a bum. I think he's a fucking tool. But.
Yeah. Basically, he's playing like his left nut is scared or something.
Like, I feel like even if you had Connor Bedard passing you the puck or doing whatever, I feel like Laine's just he's so one dimensional. You can just box him out, and he's not gonna get a shot anyway. So,
like,
very true.
But I do think though, the point is that I'm trying to at least make is I think no matter who gets Bedard, because all three of those teams suck ass the most, whoever gets Bedard, that team is going to really shine. And I think if he were to go to Columbus, he would just be another clone of Crosby for being in that division for so long, and then same with Ovechkin.
I just hope Montreal doesn't get him. If Montreal ends up getting, I'm going to fucking burn the city then.
Oh, God. And the funny thing is, that's actually, Montreal is a city I would love to actually watch a game at one point. Just to go there once.
You better learn how to speak French then, Tom, because they don't like anybody who speaks English.
Yeah, I can speak French.
I cannot speak French for shit, and I'm an American.
They don't like Canadians that don't speak English. They don't even like their own people.
Yeah, Quebec, they wanted to separate from the country at least like 5 times that I'm aware of.
Yeah, and I wish they would have fucked off when they had the chance. Sorry to all the French viewers, if there's any French viewers, I really don't care. Your feelings are.
Yeah, didn't we have that one crazy guy like in season 1 that called in who I think was a French viewer, and he was like all stoned or something weird?
I think it was Adam, but as like a person.
That one caller, I don't remember what it was. But he was claiming it was like some Montreal Canadiens fan or something, and then he didn't even know what the hell he was talking about.
Are you sure that's Adam?
No. I remember this guy.
Right. In fact, remember you were talking to him too?
Yeah, I was like, you actually don't even know about hockey, and he's like, yeah, I do. I know all about hockey.
Yeah.
You have no.
Yeah, but that was like what, 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, that was season 1.
One.
If we could find that episode, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I was like chirping the guy because he didn't have a fucking clue about hockey.
Yeah, I remember that. That was one of our good moments of season 1. But,
oh God.
Oh man. But actually, seeing that we're down to like our last like 25 minutes or so, let's get right into the Philadelphia jersey reveal, and then we'll jump right into football. But of course, Philadelphia, they decided to reveal some new jerseys, and we all had the chance to take a look at it earlier in the chat. Of course, when the show goes up on YouTube, you guys will see the jerseys full screen.
Hey,
but
please share it because I haven't seen it. I want to see.
All right. You know what? I'll send it, Adam. I'm going to send it to you privately as like a one-on-one, so you can take a look for yourself. Here we go. Give me a minute here, guy. So it's really underwhelming. And what you will look at is it's basically what's the word I'm looking for? It's basically like a montage to the New Jersey Devils. And if you know what I mean, if you've seen the Devils jersey, you'll know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty bland.
Yeah, you know what? It reminds me of like the 70s. Is it like the 70s concept look?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that the jerseys they currently have now were fine because those were the classic jerseys from the 70s. But, like, what is the purpose of changing the jerseys? What's different about it? Oh, you took the fucking bottom stripe off. Big whoopee-doo. Congratulations, you're the Devils.
The only really thing I see is, like, underneath the arms, where the color fades into the arm, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Like, it has that weird, like, wavy shape to it. Like, hopefully I can
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's anything extravagant, that's for sure. But the whole design, like on the bottom of the jersey, it looks like water or something. What the fuck is that? Is that this shading?
Yeah, there it is, guys. For those who want to see it, up in
Yeah.
front.
I
Like,
don't
look
I
at
don't
this
get
thing.
I don't get the whole fucking thing on the bottom.
Yeah.
So, what is this enigma of teams taking out the lines on the bottom of their jerseys? It doesn't make it
What
look
is
good
that?
by
Is
any
that
means.
like it looks like a fucking cum stain. What the fuck is that?
Looks like Andy's hairline.
I don't
Oh,
get it.
Jesus.
I don't understand why you. I don't understand why you.
Oh,
fuck
speaking of
with
Andy.
Hey,
Bobby, do you value your life? I don't think you do.
Yeah. Oh, Adam, so you probably heard about the bet that me and Bobby have going on that Bobby was trying to
fuck's
drag
sake.
Adam in, or he was trying to drag Andy into and
Fuck
make it a
me.
three-way.
What's the bet?
Basically, if he misses his pick at 27 in the NFL draft, he's got to eat the hottest thing on earth, which is like a Vindaloo curry.
Oh my god, Bobby, you're stupid.
You
I love
think
it.
that's dumb? This fucker wanted me to go to a specific restaurant in New York City, and I live an hour and 45 minutes from it. And he's like, I want you to go to New York City in the middle of the day and get some Vindaloo soup and bring it back home and eat it during the show.
Actually, if you miss on both your players, I wanted you to go to New York City to this place called Brick Lane Curry House, get the fall curry, which
You're
is
out of
even
your
hotter
fucking
than the
mind.
Vindaloo curry,
Oh,
to the point
okay.
where you have to wear the freaking gas mask, and actually they clear the entire damn kitchen out because this shit's so hot.
Okay, this whole thing was so stupid in the beginning, but I'm going to just say who we picked on. So these two, Adam, are convinced that the Bills are going to take linebacker Jack Campbell out of Iowa at 27. And I said, I don't think so. The Bills are going to probably either take Zay Flowers out of Boston College, or out of Boston College, or Osiris Torrance, offensive tackle out of Florida. And they're like, no, they're going to take a linebacker. And I'm just like, no, you want to make a bet on that? And so...
Okay, well, I think Flowers is going to be a Panthers. I don't think that's going to happen to you.
Well, if that were to be the case, they would have to either trade back into the first round or get one in the second.
I don't know. I feel like there's a better possibility that Flowers is a Panther in this draft. But
I guess we'll see when we get to the second half of the show.
You know what's funny? Is now I'm starting to rethink that whole 27 pick.
Why?
Either way, you're still going to lose, and you're still going to have to eat that hot curry, but...
Yep, on the air, and we'll watch your face turn purple as you are sitting there in pain.
Either way it goes, Bobby, you made a stupid choice, and that's okay. People,
You know, if I'm right about this, he has to do it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
would do it.
I don't think you're going to be right though, because I'm in agreement. I feel like that's where they're going to go. I don't feel like they're going to fucking go for a Flowers kind of pick when they fucking need other things, and being that crucial thing they need.
Well, they desperately need a linebacker, and I get it.
Yeah.
I just think there's better options in the second round at linebacker. I truly do. But I could be wrong about
Well,
the pick.
Campbell's like the number one pick in the country for that.
Give me another pick that's better than him.
Drew Sanders. Drew Sanders out of
Are
Arkansas.
you fucking kidding me?
Drew Sanders is picking up steam. I mean, I would like him as a backup if they don't get Campbell. But
I feel like Campbell's overall better though.
Yeah.
he is, but he doesn't. I was watching some more video on Jack, and he had a lot of like. You see the good footage, you see the bad footage, and I was watching more of the bad footage today, and he was missing a lot of open field tackles he should have been making for a middle linebacker, which can be a little concerning.
Oh, and look
No,
at
but
you
at the
being
same
all high
time,
and
you
mighty last week, you son of a bitch.
You can't hang him out to dry on a couple plays that he misplayed.
I know. Like I said, you're going to get the good film, you're going to get the bad film with all
Right.
these guys. But this time I was able to see his, some of the bad film, and he missed a lot of, open field tackles, and you can't have that for a middle linebacker. But it's not like it can't be corrected. But a lot of people around here are picking up steam on Drew Sanders because of his versatility and his speed. He's a little underweight in my eyes, with being 235. Can that hold up in the middle? Not really, I don't think. But
What's Jack pushing at? Like 300?
Something like that.
he's at 250. He's at perfect weight. He's at what's his face's weight? Whoever who he's replacing.
Oh,
I forget.
Edmonds?
God damn. Yeah, he's got Edmonds' weight. He doesn't have his size. He's like maybe 2 inches. I don't know. Is he 6'5"? I'm trying to remember.
I
Is
was
he
gonna
6'3"
say,
or
he's
6'4"?
very similar. I thought he was 6'3", though.
I kind of feel like those low center fucking gravity fucking tackles are so much better though. The shorter you are, the better.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree to an extent, but I strongly disbelieve they should not take a linebacker. If anything, they could really use all the help they can get for Josh Allen, whether it's an offensive line or a wide receiver. Hell, I'm not even against the idea of a running back, because that's been the conversation lately, is the Bills are in this discussion of getting Bijan Robinson. They might trade up and, let's say, number 20 or 21, and they might trade up and take Robinson before he's, expandable to everybody else.
Robinson might even be gone at pick 10 to Philly. Don't get sold on just because Ezekiel Elliott signed that. That's a long-term investment.
Ezekiel Elliott sucks now. There's a big difference.
Well, more incentive for Philly to take him.
Quote me now, because I'm going to quote myself and say, I think this year, Zeke Elliott's going to have a breakout year.
With what team? Who's going to take him?
When he gets signed by whatever team, I feel like he's going to have a fucking ball and ass year. I don't know what it is. I feel like he's at the mindset where he knows it's give it or break it, and that's it.
Right, and he's going to want to tell his other team, it's like, hey, this is what you get for letting me go.
Exactly. I feel like he has a lot to lose, and he knows it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, it's either that or he's going to the Cowboys too because he's gone. I mean,
yeah.
Tony Pollard's, it's just a one-man crew there. You know how teams like two backs who can get things done. I mean,
yeah. And Pollard's only got the franchise tag, so he's only there for like another year.
Right. So I mean, he'll be gone before the Bills pick. I'll tell you that. I mean, if they aren't really high, like even if they are high, but they got more glaring needs, and I don't see Robinson going there as much as he would be a good running back. But that's why you went out and picked Damian Harris. He's going to be your guy in between the tackles, getting those yards that you need, so that Josh Allen isn't breaking the pocket and running.
Yeah, you know what? We all love to see Josh Allen run and jump and shit, but every owner that for the Bills is like, oh my god, he's doing it again. It's ridiculous. You know what's going to happen. Eventually, he's going to make one of those runs. His knee taken out, or something's going to happen, and it's not going to be good.
Well, Tom and I saw that firsthand.
Well, either way, it's not good to see. He's a big quarterback. The only thing that saves him most times is he's so big. And that's the only thing that saves him.
Right.
Hell, even Jim Kelly was saying the same thing. He's like, well, the Bills should go out and get a running back so that Josh doesn't have to do all the work.
Well,
Okay,
their coordinator needs to start using a run game.
Yeah, that too.
Well, you need a running back to have a running game. That's the start.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what they brought Damian Harris to do. He can get those yards if he stays healthy. He's good in between the tackles. You've seen how he murdered us in the Win Bowl game. I don't know, but could be.
I still think you guys should have grabbed up Deontay Foreman. He would have got you some good yards. He's a fucking powerhouse.
Right. But then again, too, we'll see what Nyheim Hines does because they restructured his deal, and I mean, I'm thinking he's going to have a bigger presence in the running game now, especially after they got rid of Moss and after they got rid of Singletary. So,
well, Singletary's a fucking bum.
You have to see. That's just how it's going to go between Cook and Damian. I mean, they're going to have to.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll make it work. I feel like Harris was that extra. You know, he'll get the yards when you need him. When Cook needs a couple minutes to fucking breathe. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of how like McCaffrey did it and Hubbard. It was always McCaffrey ran the fucking first two fucking downs, and then Hubbard came in and switched it up, and then McCaffrey came straight back. So I don't know.
Well, let's see what Miles Sanders does when he gets to Charlotte. He might very well do the same thing.
I don't know. You know what? I was kind of skeptical at the start, but like, oh, what the fuck are these dumbasses doing? But you know what? I don't feel like we're in that bad of a state right now.
No, you're far from it. All you need is the only thing that the Panthers have to do, which I know for a fact you're looking forward to doing it, is next week when we do the annual mock draft, where you're going to be going ballistic with that first overall pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it right here and say it right now. I'm picking Shroud. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm picking Shroud.
Oh, the draft, the nice show of the year where we go into extended time because we love to take time on the clock.
Right to the last second.
Yes, absolutely. And although actually this year is gonna be quicker because there's only 4 of us and not 5 of us, so
we don't have to hear dumbass Sean O'Malley talking. James Cook at 8th overall. Why did you take him?
I still remember that pick when he ended up doing that. I'm like, dude, you have freaking Lamar Jackson right there. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Remember the fantasy draft we did, and he ends up like totally missing a quarterback that he could have had.
Hey, I was like, hey, Sean.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember, you had a chance at Lamar Jackson. Well, yeah, but Cook. I'm like, no.
You had Lamar Jackson right there in your lap.
You're done fucked up.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
You know what? If it makes you feel better, I missed out on Cooper Kupp and I took Jamar Chase instead.
You know what? That's a little bit less of a sting than what Sean did. That was absolutely.
Oh my God. I was like, are you? It's like I almost had to wonder. It's like, man, did you slip him some like really like tainted weed or something when he made that pick?
No, that's just stupid. That's just stupid. You know what? You know what it is? Is not knowing any other team than your own team. That's what that is.
Yeah,
right.
Very true.
Yeah.
I was looking at it, like half of it. I'm like, do you know other players that play in this league? Because some of your decisions I am questioning highly. I didn't want to say it to him being nice, but I'm like, well, bro, what are you doing?
He didn't though. He only knew who was playing for the Bills. He had no idea about any other player in the league other than quarterbacks and Tom Brady and fucking. He knew like that shit, but like anybody knows that shit. So,
right, and that's like one of those things. You go into a draft like that. I mean, at the very least, read up. I mean, there's stuff you can find online on anybody.
Fuck, dude, I didn't have a fucking clue. Dude. When I first started watching, like when Bobby got me into football, I didn't have a fucking clue who even played for the fucking Panthers other than Cam Newton. I had no fucking clue.
Right.
Well, like at the time when I got you in was like 9 months or maybe like 7 months after they lost the Super Bowl was around the time you first got in. And I remember that because I said to you, hey, the Panthers are playing the Broncos. And you're like, thanks. And then from there kind of just said, I don't really care in the first 2 or 3 years. And then when they got Sam Darnold, it's like when you went full on rage mode. And then it's like, oh my God, I'm a Panther fan.
I remember that.
That is still to this day my favorite episode that we have ever done on this show.
Oh yeah, the Sam. I would say it's between you going off on Sam Darnold and you going off on Aaron Dell and Anderson in the same night.
Oh my God,
that one was pretty good too because like you had so many choices to pick Aaron.
Was I wrong, fellas? I mean, was I really wrong?
Not wrong.
No, you were not. But I will say this, though. You were wrong about Craig Anderson. He's been actually pretty decently good since, he got here.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was fine with
Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson wasn't as bad, but, I mean, and he's been a decent goalie, but Aaron Dell just sucks.
Well, we already knew that, but it's just like, I mean,
listen.
I
knew what he was all about. I knew what he was all about. And I'm like, you can't be serious right now.
I mean, if you want to be serious for a minute, if you want to talk about shit, how about the rumors that's been going around about Mac Jones on his way out, possibly of New England?
Oh, God. Yeah, it's like Bill Belichick. Why did you draft him if you don't want him in the first place?
Well, if I was Mac Jones, I'd just run and be like, thanks. I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, who the fuck's going to take him, though? That's the problem. Because it's like, and the headline was from Pro Football Talk. They said that GM and head coach Bill Belichick has shopped 2021 first-rounder Mac Jones to multiple teams during the offseason so far, and the list of potential destinations is unknown. But since then, I think it was like the Chargers, the Texans, the Raiders. I think the Colts were mentioned as a possibility. Oh, the Commanders and the Buccaneers. And it was, quote, things aren't going well between Bill Belichick and Mac Jones. And apparently he was agitated because he was getting like sources from outside of New England or something like that to get his game better or something like that. I don't really know exactly the details, but there was something that had to do with Mac going behind Bill Belichick's back to get some sort of information about how to be a better QB.
Bill Belichick. The guy has not been relatable since Tom Brady. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
The guy needs to retire and just fuck off.
Yeah, Tom Brady is who made Bill Belichick who he is. I mean, because if you look at what Belichick did before Tom Brady came into the league, he was an absolute nobody. He was an average coach at best. But even more interesting now is that Robert Kraft is basically in a roundabout way is saying Bill Belichick's job is not necessarily safe.
Yeah, and there was even a rumor going around that's saying that Belichick wouldn't be, quote, not a surprise if Belichick were to finish his career elsewhere. I'm like, why? Where else could he possibly finish? I mean, is it really that much of a dramatic, dystopia in New England? Because I would always think that Bill Belichick, after what he's done with the Patriots for so long, you would think he would retire a Patriot compared to like Tom Brady, who hasn't even declared he was going to retire with New England. He might just say, "I'm going to retire with the Bucs and call it a day." But I don't know. I mean, it's like nobody wants to retire there.
Well, would you?
No, I wouldn't.
Well, stop questioning it then. Nobody wants to retire there because nobody wants to retire there.
I mean, you're right. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I just think it's kind of odd, specifically when you have Brady, Belichick, and Kraft at that point. You would think, yeah, if you were better than half of what you were projected to be. Like, I remember when Randy Moss retired, it wasn't really necessarily as a Patriot. I think he retired as like a Viking or something like that. And Randy Moss had arguably the best season of any wide receiver outside of Jerry Rice in like 2007 with Brady, when I think he scored like 23 touchdowns that one year when they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Giants or something like that.
Yeah, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, that was insane. And at that time, that's even to this day, that's a record that's still, that hasn't been broken since. Was 23 touchdowns by Randy Moss.
And it won't be for a long fucking time.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, that's just straight up great.
If you just look up the history, or if you look at like the tapes of like the 2007 New England Patriots, they were unstoppable. They had a remarkable defense. They had Tom Brady doing Tom Brady things. They had Randy Moss. They had Teddy Bruschi. They had Wes Welker, Lawrence Maroney. They had a very solid offensive line at that time. Yeah. They were all around perfect team until they got to the Super Bowl.
Well, that whole thing with Belichick is because Mac Jones isn't afraid to speak up to Belichick, and Belichick probably doesn't like that. So it's probably why he's shopping him around.
Mm-hmm. Maybe there was like, only thing I can think of is like Brady doesn't want to retire as a Patriot because maybe in his early years it was some touchy-feely in the showers. I don't know.
Oh, God.
That's very possible, because I know there were stories in the past about Brady and Belichick, butting heads, and that's why Brady left New England in the first place.
What heads, though? What heads were they butting?
Oh, God.
They were butt touching. That's what they were doing. They were sleeping at night together or something like that. But no, but there was some sort of conflict between Belichick of the way he wants to move on from Brady, because there was rumors that he wanted to move on from him after, I think it was the fourth Super Bowl when they beat Seattle. 2 years after that, when they still had Jimmy Garoppolo as the backup, they wanted to trade Brady, keep Jimmy G as the guy. And Kraft said, no, we're going to keep Brady, so we're going to have you trade Jimmy G instead. And to his credit, it worked out better than how people thought it would be. I mean, look at it now. That was like the best thing the Patriots did, was keeping him going.
Well, yeah, got him another Super Bowl.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I think they won 2 more after that.
Who knows? Jimmy G could have shown. He could have shined like a bright diamond.
He would have, but the problem is he was behind Tom Brady, so he had no chance outside of that.
Yep, and then injuries killed him in San Francisco, basically, too.
And now he's a fucking joke, or laughing joke and numbnuts in Las Vegas.
Nah, he'll be fine.
You know what?
Jimmy'll be fine. He's always been fine.
He's a fucking career backup that's making millions. He doesn't give a fuck.
Right, he's like, hey, as long as I get my check every game day, here we go.
Look at fucking what's his name is just retired from the Chiefs. He made millions just being a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's glorious. I think anything that happens with the Patriots, I think is just what's the word I'm looking for? Trouble in paradise. I love hearing about that shit because now all the ex-players that played with Belichick in New England are now all going to the Raiders. I think Danny Amendola, who played for the Patriots at one point,
he's coaching there now.
He's coaching the Raiders now with Josh McDaniels. They're basically calling themselves the Las Vegas Patriots because they're bringing in every ex-member of the New England Patriots, the same way Belichick would bring in all those scraps, and then they would become juggernauts with Brady back in the day.
Yep, very true. And actually, we're down to our last few minutes here, but we got two last things we want to touch on. So, of course, let's talk about what's happening in Baltimore because apparently the Ravens are very interested in going after Odell Beckham Jr.
You're not kidding. I mean,
oh god.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't even know what to say. One thing I know what to say is that I feel like this saga of OBJ, like he needs to go somewhere and fuck off. It's another one of those players I'm sick of hearing about. Just fuck off and sign somewhere or fucking retire. I don't give a fuck.
Right. Yeah, and then of course it's like you hear the reports he wanted like $15 million for like 1 year or something crazy. I'm like, you ain't getting that.
No, definitely not. I mean,
He's lucky he got offered $4.
Yeah, I think the last thing I heard was 4 years, $22 million by the New York Jets. That was the last contract I heard. But he said that he rejected it because he wanted to explore his options. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you waiting for Rodgers to all of a sudden just go to the fucking Jets? That's another player I'm sick and tired of hearing about. Is get the fucking trade over with because it's been
all right. At the same time, I'm going to put him in the same fucking category as all those teams looking for Lamar Jackson. There ain't nobody looking for you, bud. Just sign somewhere.
Right.
The first team to fucking
fuck.
There's not a boatload of teams looking for Lamar Jackson right now. Which is sad because he's not a bad quarterback. He just thinks he's fucking hot shit since, Deshaun Watson had to go fuck up the whole quarterback.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Cleveland. Yeah, in fact, here if I'm Lamar Jackson, I sign with the Indianapolis Colts.
The only problem is they would have to trade him. He can't just be a free agent. He has to be traded there because Baltimore holds his rights.
Force the deal.
I feel like he would have been gone yesterday or weeks ago if they didn't have to force that trade because they have to trade the fucking guy. And at the same time, I feel like Indianapolis would go from being like mediocre to really good overnight, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I actually have a trade proposal because of the saga that we're in right now with Lamar Jackson. How about this? Baltimore and Indianapolis negotiate a trade. Indianapolis gets Lamar Jackson. Baltimore gets 2 first-round picks. The 4th overall pick this year and their first rounder next year, and a conditional second. And if the Colts make the playoffs, that's another first that Indianapolis have to give up.
I'd see. If I was Baltimore, I'd do that because I feel like it's going nowhere. I feel like those picks would be valuable because, I don't know.
Appropriate value for them.
That it's good value. It's more over market value. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that would be a trade that I'd be like, you know what? You throw in a fucking a late round fucking 5th round pick and we'll color a deal.
Exactly. That's how I look at it because Lamar Jackson, as good as he is, he's a running quarterback because once he loses that mobility and when he turns in his 30s, which he still got some time, but when he gets to that 29, 30-year-old range, unless he keeps his body in like consistent shape every year, he's going to lose that mobility. I think that happened to Michael Vick when he played for the Eagles. Like he had that scrapping mobility, but he wasn't able to go all into the house like he used to at the time when he was with the Falcons.
Well, yeah,
So
his body broke down.
And plus, you have to worry about injury. You have to worry about that too, right?
Yeah. So I do think that if that were to happen from my proposal, not Indianapolis, Baltimore would easily win that trade because you would basically get 3 first-round picks, and especially if Indianapolis makes the playoffs with Lamar Jackson in that first year, that's a definite gimme right there because they already made that mistake with Carson Wentz.
And plus, if you make those picks, like you said, like if they make the playoffs or they make whatever, make it more conditional, and then even more tantalizing the Ravens to be like, you know what, we're getting even more than we thought. So like, plus we're getting the bonus on top. So I feel like they bite on that real easy. But again, the Ravens have to trade them. So
they don't have a choice at this point. They have to submit to it because they can't just say, "Oh, we're not going to trade Lamar." They have no choice. They have to look at the quarterback option.
He ain't staying there. He ain't staying there. That's the bottom line. So you have to go.
Yeah, he's already announced he's going to be gone. So, just get the deal done at this point. But what we'll do is we'll end with one last thing, and this was actually a breaking story late yesterday, but the Buffalo Bills officially have a stadium deal in place. So basically what ended up coming out, it was a long time working, but now the deal is with the legislature, and they're going to review it over the next 30 days. They're expected to vote on it, and as long as all things go through, which is expected to go through, groundbreaking for the new stadium will start in May.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Enough talk about it. Just fucking break ground and fucking make fucking stadium.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And as part of the deal also, what's going to happen is, of course, the county won't own the stadium anymore. Now it's going to be owned by New York State for the first 15 years. And then after 15 years, then the Pagulas can buy out the stadium and fully own it, which they don't have that option with the KeyBank Center because Erie County owns that. But Pagula will be able to buy the stadium out and completely own it. So we could realistically see in 15 years it's owned and operated by the Bills. So that's one thing. Apparently all the people that are going to be working at the stadium, there were certain livable wage concessions that were put in there. And apparently on top of that, $3 million is going to be invested within the city as part of the community benefits agreement. So that's another part that was put in there. But here's the other thing. The Bills cannot break the lease for at least 30 years.
Well, you won't have to worry about that because I heard this is funny. This random guy that I follow on YouTube, he's I watch him when I'm stoned because he's just funny to watch. And he's one of those conspiracy theorists. So he tends to think that within 10 years the aliens will come back and they will retake Earth as their own. And
whatever, just don't put me out of a job.
Right.
I was like, for the love of God, supposed to solve our fucking mystery. Just do it, please.
Yeah. But no, it is nice to see that get done. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just going to go straight through, and then, we should see groundbreaking on it. And apparently with the updated renderings that came out within the last 2 weeks, it's going to be a little bit different than the current stadium because it's not going to be half underground. So that's one thing that's a little bit different.
With that, because I know, like, with signing something like that, they have to, like, put in so much, like, community input too, like millions of dollars into like community infrastructure.
Yeah, $3 million. There's gonna be at least $3 million going into that. So
and then more incentive, right? It's more incentive for them to sign it and say, we're gonna do.
And then on top of it, the other thing that's also been announced is that there's gonna be more bus service. They're gonna do a transportation hub there, and eventually, if the train ever does get extended there, then it's not far from the current stadium. Basically, just build up whatever they need to do. But at least the other thing that's kind of interesting with the plan right now as well is that it looks like they're going to try to replicate something like Patriot Place, where they actually build up around it for the first time ever.
I actually went to Patriot Place. It's actually very shallow. It's basically like a fucking mall, and it's nothing but like Patriots Place is basically like a charity foundation that Robert Kraft put together, and he basically took like 20 years of their Patriots dynasty like stuff from their Hall of Fame, and they put it into one place.
That's cool. That's a good idea, though.
Yeah. Because if you remember, I went to see them play the New England Patriots in Foxborough in December, and that was the first thing I saw. And it's literally like Gillette Stadium as a whole. It's like under like construction, and there's like they're building like I don't remember exactly what they're building, but they're building something around the perimeter of Gillette. I think it's another barrier of seats, if I remember correctly. And then Patriots Place was right there. There was a Red Robin's right there. There was a fucking mall right there with a movie theater. And I think at the time, Cocaine Bear was advertised on the coming soon poster board.
Cocaine Bear.
And yes, I saw that movie, and it was stupid, but it was funny, and I liked it.
Yes, I was so fucked up when I watched that movie. It was so funny.
Like you can't just help but laugh, which is how stupid that movie was.
You can't make it up, but it's so fucked up that it's true. It happened. It's a real thing.
Outside of the whole killing thing, that was made up, but everything else in between all that, it was real.
Yeah, like the bear fucking sniffing cocaine was a real thing. Like, I want to meet that bear. I want to meet that
You actually can do that. You can actually see the taxidermy body. I think it's in Lexington, Kentucky, which is ironic because if everything goes to plan, Tom and I are supposed to go to Cincinnati in the fall to see the Bills-Bengals game, and we're going to be staying in Kentucky overnight. We're within like the 4 or 5 day plan, depending on how far we go, and we might end up going to Lexington where the body is taking place.
Okay, well, I have a great idea. I feel like I have $1 million idea right now.
Oh God, tell us.
We're gonna get a whole bunch of wild animals, and we're gonna put them like a zoo. Okay, we're gonna put them in pens, and we're gonna go in the cages with the animals, and we're gonna do blow with them and see how they react.
Oh God.
If it makes you feel better, there's already a movie coming out called Crystal Meth Gator. I'm not kidding.
I want to get in a cage with a sloth, and I want to sit there and be like, "Hey, man, here's your Hollywood, here's mine," and I want to see how that sloth reacts to a line of coke. I want to see if he speeds up or if he I don't know, does something. I don't know. I feel like the sloth is the best.
Oh my Lord!
Are you okay?
What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't know. I feel like the sloth is an animal, the best animal to test cocaine on, because I feel like they're the slowest animal in life other than a turtle. Good luck trying to get a turtle to sniff cocaine.
Yeah.
I feel,
you know what?
I feel like you can force feed cocaine into a sloth easier than a turtle.
You know what? You should just give cocaine to a sloth, put it by the nearest pond, and live up like Simba from the Lion King, and then watch his legs paddle like this and go like, yeah, and just let him go.
You just killed my dreams. I had dreams and you just killed them.
Oh God. Oh man.
That didn't take long.
Right. Yeah.
Although it would make a really good comedy.
No, what'll make a really good comedy is watching your face turn purple when you eat that Vindaloo shit.
Oh, shut the fuck up, man.
And watch you be like, "Oh, it's too hot."
Oh, come on. It's not like it's the only time you've ever seen me burn my face.
Oh, this dude, that's like nothing compared to this if you lose.
You know what? If I lose, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, just be ready to have something like 5 times hotter than that to bomb beyond insanity.
I want the after video of you taking that shit afterwards.
Oh God. All right, Andy Van Queer, what did you do now? Oh, it's a GIF. For those who are wondering, it's a sloth and I'm dancing in a grocery store.
See, you can get down.
That's the most Andy-ish thing that you can ever think of.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a sloth on cocaine. I feel like he'd be moving a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like, he would speed up a lot.
Yeah, and I thought the movie Rampage was stupid. The Cocaine Bear just like icing on the cake.
I don't know. I feel like I'm really baked right now, and I'm.
Yeah, you're just rambling on stupid shit.
Well, Bobby, this will make you feel better. So I misspoke. It's not 5 million Scovilles. It's 500,000, which is still a hell of a lot hotter than that hot sauce.
You piece of shit! You told me to eat that stuff. You piece of
You
shit.
agree to it, so you fuck. That's what happens when you agree.
Well, he's the one that's like, go to New York City and get some Zigaloo.
No, I told you to get the fall, which is a hell of a lot hotter than the Vindaloo stuff.
It doesn't matter. You're gonna die. So I mean,
You're gonna be crying like a little baby asking your mom's tit.
You know, I'm surprised that after that comment that Andy just made, at this point, I'm surprised Rick Jenneret didn't die yet.
Oh, you fucker.
at least he's not stupid enough to fucking eat what you're gonna be eating.
Yeah. And just to give you an idea, Devon Beyond Insanity is less than 136,000 units. So the fact that you're going to be eating 500,000, that'll there's going to be some pain inflicted.
Oh my god!
Better have an ambulance on standby.
It just so happens that Andy's in emergency services, so you'll be okay.
Yeah, we were talking about that. His wife is an EMT.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. The other problem is she won't be home.
Oh, well, that sucks to be you then.
Well, yeah, you're really fucked then.
Bobby die live on stream.
Oh, God, yeah. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate that.
Yeah, just make sure you have at least 2 gallons of milk right up front.
Fuck. Yeah, thanks for telling me that it was 500,000 Scoville units.
No, I thought it was... I looked up one thing, it was like 5 mil, but then it's really 500,000.
You don't drink fucking milk, you fucking pussy. You fucking suck it up.
Right?
As the guy who doesn't even eat the hot stuff because you'd be like, oh,
well, I will tell you this, Bobby. I did order some late last week, and you have no idea what you just got yourself into.
Well, let's see if I even lose to begin with.
You're gonna lose, dude.
Really? We'll see about that.
Well, yeah, you claimed 2 players. I only claimed 1. You've got a 50% chance more of losing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say.
He's like, you know what? I done fucked up. I'm an idiot.
Right.
Wait, Andy, you know what I just thought about? You know what just really hit me, Adam? You can play along with this too.
Oh, Jesus.
And Tom already... Yeah, Tom, shut the fuck up. He knows exactly where I'm going with this.
Yeah, he's
guys,
trying to bring you into the bet.
I'm not getting into the bet, so don't even try.
Okay,
Fucking stupid.
I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna say it. So you know what it got me thinking? I can't think of a country in the continent of Africa that starts with the letter K. Do you guys know?
Shut up, dude! You started the show with this.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, Bobby. If you thought I was gonna fall for that,
just start making your will out now because you're not gonna make it after you eat that shit. So
yeah, can you suck on these nuts?
I'm telling you, that will needs to be in writing by like next week before.
Before the draft.
I feel like we should kill him now to save time.
Then who's gonna take my spot?
Right.
I'd actually want to watch that.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Well, if he does lose on both players, though, I'd still want him to go to Brick Lane and get the Fall Curry because that's 1.2 million Scovilles instead of 500,000.
I will laugh hysterically if I don't even lose, and yet you have to be the one to eat it.
Dude, I ate that crap over the weekend. It's fine.
Dude, you're a
I was fine
Buffalonian.
with
That's
it.
like nothing to you.
I don't eat that shit. I'm a Buffalonian.
What do you mean?
You know what? No sane person eats that.
Right.
Yeah, right.
These fucking people do.
Well, the reason I got it is just
fucking people.
Yeah, the reason I got it is just to prep in advance so I can tolerate the heat.
Are you serious?
You know what? The last time someone said these people, he got banned off the air, and he was a legend. You're not.
What the fuck? These people? What? These Buffalonians like me and Tom? Is that where you getting at, huh? You think we all eat?
Don Terry, you can't say that shit.
I don't eat that
Torontonians, do you guys have a spice?
I'm not a Torontonian. I'm a fucking newfie.
Yeah, that's right. I know that, but I mean, like, you root for the Leafs, so I figure that's where the same narrative combines.
I'm a fucking newfie.
Oh, man.
You know what? We're newfies. We eat fish. We don't fucking eat spicy shit. We stay away from that fucking shit. Why would we do that?
Oh, that explains it.
This Rangers game is getting chippy.
The Rangers could suck my dick.
Yeah, as I say, Rangers are still leading, aren't they?
Oh my God, this game! Since I put it on, there's been about 3 or 4 fights.
Oh, nice.
Who's playing? Who's playing?
Tampa.
Tampa.
Oh yeah, beat them up, Rangers. Beat them up. Beat
All right.
Fuck the Rangers. Fuck the Rangers.
Fuck the Bolts. Fuck the Bolts. We're gonna get past the first round this year. I promise.
No,
That's what you've been saying for like 4 years now.
As I cry myself to sleep.
Hey, at least he admitted it.
Oh man. Well,
it's on TNT if you guys want to watch it. It's 4-3, and you still got a whole period to go.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go and get higher if I need to.
there you go. Oh, by the way, I sent you guys a picture of what Bobby's going to have to eat in the chat.
Oh, shit. We have some breaking news. BenchClears.com just released the new Buffalo Sabres Go Ahead Bench Clear tank top if anybody wants to buy it.
Tank top.
Oh, my God, Bobby. Your ass is going to hurt for a week.
My ass already hurts from staring at ants.
Dude, that'll make your ass bleed for about a week.
I feel like looking at this picture is making me hot. Oh my God, there's so many fucking
Yeah, Scotch bonnet, scorpion maruga.
That's bad enough. The Scotch
Chilies.
bonnet.
I'd rather watch Steve-O get bit in the ass by an alligator snapping turtle than eat this shit.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it?
It would be, because I could actually visually watch it.
You have to visually eat it at the same time.
It's like liquid death.
Fuck!
Yeah. Well, you know what? No one fucking switched to your arm to make that bet, but you're like, you know what? I'm Bobby. I'm gonna make a stupid bet again.
Well, he dragged me into it, so I'm going to make it less beneficial for him.
No, the original deal was supposed to be for Andy, and then he bitched out and then he
No, Andy was never part of it. You wanted $100. I figured I wanted to make you have pain.
Oh, come on. You just love to watch me suffer.
Yeah, of course we do.
Is that the pure entertainment?
Bobby and Pain that made my day. Bobby and Pain.
Right.
There should just be a thumbnail of my face and like red with
And
fire.
then you have like fire, like fire breathing dragon or something.
Yeah, that would you know what? That could happen. I can actually do that to myself.
You're gonna be shitting planes, dude.
You know what? I chose to swim in it, and now I have to marinate in it.
Yes, you do.
You're gonna bloat at your ass, and you're gonna wish you weren't born.
All right. But then, of course, the fun thing is that if we both lose on our picks, then we both have to. So he still has to do it anyways.
Bobby, either way you lose, bud.
Yeah.
Lose.
May 3rd.
Get your will ready. Make sure you got a couple days off of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna need a couple days to recycle that out of your system because it's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck.
You know what? I'll survive at some point. I'm gonna survive.
Yep.
I can do it.
Well, May 3rd is Judgment Day, boy.
Yeah, dude, you have to put the fucking bet first.
Well, you bet me, and now you see what happens.
Yeah, if they don't even take the guy, you're fucked. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
He just ate it yesterday. He has no fucking shame of eating it again. You're gonna die.
All right. You've never eaten it. I have. A couple times.
God damn it.
And I will tell you, yes, it is hotter than hell, but...
Bobby, I'm gonna tell you this now before you die. I love you, but you make stupid bets.
You want to see something stupid? Yeah, give me a fucking minute, boys. Let me show you something.
Oh, Jesus.
I want to show y'all something. Hang on one second.
Well, hurry up, because we're like 10 minutes over.
You know what? You'll survive. Guess what?
Whoa, we gotta see her ass again like we did that one time?
Oh God.
Here we go.
I don't even want to remember that one.
This better be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm giving her extra time.
Just to prepare for the show,
Oh,
I got
Jesus.
2 hot sauces. The Last Dab Apollo, which is at 5 million Scoville units. This shit is hot. And the other one was under almost 900,000 Scoville units. The Garlic Reaper.
Actually, last step of Apollo is not 5 million, it's like 2.5.
The Last Apollo. Well, this is Last Dab Apollo. So this isn't.
Yeah, it's only 2.5 mil. So that on its own is going to be about, well, that'll definitely be hot.
Well, both of them are fucking hot regardless how you look at it. But
Good.
either way,
Good.
I
Mix them
still
together
have
and do it right now.
Are you no? No,
Yeah,
no,
do
no,
it.
no, no, no.
Yeah, mix them together and do it, man. Let's see
No,
you die.
I ain't doing this. No,
Yeah, you are.
We're already past the time. You already said it.
No, we're staying on so we can see this.
You got to build up.
I feel like he's just baiting us in so he can do this. Bobby, just fucking do it. Stop being a pussy.
Yeah,
you got to build.
Yeah,
Fuck y'all.
and take a big ass spoonful of each too.
Okay? So if I do that, then I'm not eating the Zigaloo, and if I
No, you're still not getting out of that bet.
well, I ain't doing it because
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
waiting for the big one. I was gonna put this on the Zigaloos to even make it more painful.
Well, you can still do that if you want, but no, let's see you take it now.
Don't
No,
let
I
him
already.
off.
I already.
Don't let him off. Don't let him off.
No,
Don't do it.
Do it.
Don't.
Bye.
No.
Shit.
Let's see.
Bye.
He was never gonna do it. He was never gonna do it.
Yeah. And the funny thing is I told him of like a place near him that he can actually get that stuff. He ain't gonna do it.
Adam, who is CJ Shroud?
He's TJ Shroud.
Yeah, who's CJ Shroud?
I spelled his name wrong. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, close.
The Shroud family.
Dude, I was gonna say, get your ass off that couch, get that spoon, and take a sip of that stuff.
You got to build resistance, man. You ain't gonna make it for the other curry.
Yeah, if I can go through a whole Vindaloo yesterday, you can go through a spoonful of that stuff.
Well, I don't have a spoon on me. They're in the dishwasher.
So take it out. So drink it out of the damn bottle.
Oh, for fuck's sake, no! We're already past. No.
Put it on your finger, you dingleberry. Put it on your finger and lick it. You puss bag.
Yeah, or throw it on a fork or something. Or take like a cracker and do it.
You're gonna do it.
I don't have a spoon or on the dishwasher.
I bought it so I could look at it.
Do it now. Yeah, I gotta go.
Anyway, I gotta go.
See Adam. Oh god. All right, let's put in the chat. Who wants to see Bobby down some of that stuff next week? If you want to see him like burn his mouth with the hot sauce before we even do the bet,
Are you shitting me?
Go ahead and chat. Let's see what everyone says.
I will get those votes for you.
Yeah, same here.
God. Man,
Yeah.
you're
And you got to mix both of them.
God damn it! I'm not doing it now. You're crazy.
It said next week, dingleberry.
Yeah, if I even get to next week.
Oh, I'll make sure you get to next week. We're gonna make sure of that. Even if we have to throw you in like one of those like cryogenic things to make sure that we keep you alive for next week, we're gonna make sure you're here next week.
Yeah, I need to be here because we have the fucking mock draft next week.
Yeah, and you're gonna be drinking some of that hot sauce next week.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
Oh man. Well, that being said, yeah, if you guys do want to see him take the hot sauce swig next week, definitely drop a line in the chat. But for us to wrap up, any last words from anybody other than Bobby? We know you're gonna die next week drinking that stuff.
Yeah, gee, thanks. No, I'm good.
All right, and then Andy, any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, after last night's Sabres game, I still have just a wee bit of hope, but it's dying ever so quickly.
Well, I mean, we all know Andy Van Gier, of all people, would do that, or say that for that matter.
Well,
Yeah. They got less than a 1% chance to make it now after yesterday. So, like I said, I have hopes, but they're dying quickly.
right. But on the flip side, at least we got to have some meaningful hockey in April for a change that we haven't had in a while.
It's been great. No, they've totally exceeded expectations this year, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I mean the fact that they have over 80 points already. I mean, considering they did a lot better than a lot of people thought. So, definitely good to see. I mean, the future's bright, and then now with Levi getting into the mix, it's even better. So with that, what we'll do is we'll wrap up for another week. Andy, nice to see you. Actually, it's the first time we had the full crew here in a while. Sean, sorry we had to shit on you, but we had to do that. But hope you're doing well anyways. But anyways, we'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves and each other.